Hey.
Hey, so Jenna, how are you?
Oh, I can't
Nope.
hear you very well.
I'll keep talking. I'll keep talking. Let's see if this
Yeah,
helps.
there we
Good?
go.
Okay. How's it going? How are things?
It's good. I wanted to check if you had gotten my email.
Okay, today I've been in
Yes.
sessions this morning. Okay, let me see.
Okay. Yeah. I think we were supposed to meet at 1 o'clock, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
I have us down from 1:30 to 2:30.
Check.
Let's see.
Oh, for some
Yeah,
reason,
I see your email. Yeah.
the I think our the training worksheet email had 1 p.m. Um, but I should have probably written down what we what we actually said it the last time so I
Let me
don't
look.
forget it.
Yeah, I apologize. Maybe I wrote it wrong, but yeah, I have us down at one because I was in a meeting before this, so I could not
Ah,
meet
yeah,
at
yeah,
one
yeah.
o'clock. Scrolling. Yeah, it does say 1 o'clock. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's at 1:30. Well, do you still have time? Do you want to push this back? We can get done what we need to, or how's your
Uh,
schedule for today?
I do have to leave at 2. But I'm okay with doing a half hour, if that's all right.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll see what we can do with other sessions. Like if we need to tack that additional time on or
Yeah.
whatever, we'll figure out another way to work that in. I'm so sorry
No,
for
no,
the
no,
the
don't
confusion
apologize.
today.
I should have I usually write it down, so I don't know why I like didn't write it down this time.
No worries, no worries. Well, how are things?
Things are going okay. The I've definitely have needed to utilize some of that like inside nose work, hiring them out the
Okay.
past couple weeks. I think with how the weather's been, it's like he is not a fan of rain. So it's been
Sure.
very like he goes out, he pees if I'm lucky, and then he comes back in. But then of course, because of that, he's like pacing around. I notice that he will like start like excessively licking his paws or whatever, and I'm like, okay, that means he's just trying to figure out something to do. Like,
Okay.
so I was trying to do his snuffle mat since I don't like to put it out when I'm out of the house because he ends up using it as a pee pad. Um,
Right.
but I figured for like times where like even if I'm home, if he's like getting restless or if I'm at work or like I'm unable to like step away and like play with him, then I'll put out the snuffle mat. At first I would put just kibble and he'd get kind of bored halfway.
Mm.
He'd like do some and then like not long after he would just call it quits and then not take a second look at it. So the next time I tried to like mix things up, I went a little ham last time I went to Pet Supplies. So there's variety at home now and I like mix some like soft chews and some of those Stella and Chewy like liver pieces that they have.
Yeah.
Uh, I just like broke those up and like kind of also put those throughout the snuffle mat. And he was like, he couldn't wait for me to like leave the mat so he could just like dive right in. So I was like, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Yay. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So that was helpful. And and even then I'm trying to like also, and I've told my partner this too, that we should both be doing this, is like just be more active in what our playtime looks like with him. Like throwing a ball down the hallway is like one thing, but like, it even just like 5 minutes of tug of war with him, he's like super happy and he's like he doesn't need much. He just wants to like play around. And I think like that
Yeah,
satisfies a lot of his like he's willing to lay down more afterward if he's just like, okay, they've paid attention to me.
yeah,
It's not like they're playing games or on their laptop while I'm just sitting next to them. So,
yeah,
um, so I've been trying to do that with him at least, especially since like outside is very, um, even if it's not raining, it just has gotten so hot outside. So it's not working out for him. So
yeah. It's like the
I've been trying
worst
to do
right
that more.
now.
It's been really rough.
Good.
So yeah, I've been trying to do that. Um,
Have you found that when you do those things like proactively, that when you're doing the short play sessions or the snuffle mat, that he's doing less of like the pacing or any other of like the anxious behaviors that he normally
yes,
does? So you see
yes.
the difference? I love that. Okay.
Because there's definitely, I think it was just earlier this week that there was a time where um, there's usually like, especially since it's been getting hot and his walks have not been long, um, if he's getting restless and I'm working, then he'll like becomes a cat. He starts like pawing at my like chair. And I'm like, you can't be doing that. And he's like both paws on the chair. He's like, hurry up. He's like trying to like slap me. And I'm like, you can't be like slapping me while I'm working. But
Yeah.
there was a day where I put the snuffle mat out, and after he finished it, he just went back to the bed in the office by the like Juliet balcony, and he just laid down. Like even if he
Excellent.
wasn't napping, he was just willing to like go back there and be a little more patient until I could like give him more attention,
Hmm.
which was a big deal. I was like, I can't, because like I could just sometimes I'm like, I would love to take you out or play with you. I literally can't right now.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, so I was like, okay. I like almost forgot about the existence of the snuffle mat because I was like, I can't use this when I'm out. But
Yeah. But you can use
um,
it when you're home.
exactly,
Yeah.
I took it out of the closet. I'm like, let's just like keep it out here and like have it play a more active part. Especially because I've noticed like, and another thing I'm trying to be more proactive about too is things like his Kongs and stuff.
Hmm.
I'll still put them out if I have to leave, but he very rarely um like actually goes after it because he's still like
Yeah.
not paying attention. Um, but there was a time where I put it down when I was busy or like I didn't have the capacity to do much, and he was like super happy with it. So I was
Love
like,
that.
okay, very good. That's like I am
Love
recognizing
that.
that things that are maybe used more for dogs when someone leaves, like that can also just be used when I'm here. What a concept.
I love that.
I was
Well,
like,
not only that, I mean, it's not just about providing them just for the sake of providing them. Like they do have a
yeah.
point. So the point is you're either seeing that he's actively relaxing when he's doing it, or like what
Mhm.
you're saying, you see him relax at other points during the day, or he's like
Yes.
less likely to be triggered by his usual things. Like that's where the money's at. So
Yeah.
I love that you're seeing the difference and that you're
Like he's
using these
coming
things
down
proactively.
even a little bit he's coming down, which is like
Good.
or it's almost like he sees I'm like putting an olive branch, and so he's like, okay, I'm willing to wait like 30 more minutes or 40 more
Yeah,
minutes until like you can maybe step away from the desk and like give me a little more attention. I'm like, okay, thank
good.
you. Because like I can't have you
Excellent.
like slapping me all the time.
Yeah.
If I wanted that, I would have gotten a cat, but I didn't want that. So
I mean, to that end, if you're using them proactively, I mean, continue to do so, but based on what you know of your routine and the times that he tends to get a little, hey, are we doing something? Try to catch try to do it in advance of giving him something to do. That way we don't develop the sequence of I paw at
He
mom on
gets
the computer
rewarded.
and then she gives me the snuffle mat, right? So
Yeah.
trying to get to it before it happens. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so I'm really happy about that. And I think as it gets hotter, it's like I'm glad that I'm starting to like remember to use it because I feel like yes, he has to get used to it, but also like I have to start like I have to train my own brain to be like, yes, I should put this out. Like, yes, I should set this up for him so that we're not dealing with the consequences later on. So that's a positive.
Yeah, it's a huge positive. Are you
Yeah.
finding it easy to get things together? Do you have like a system where you do it by the day? Do you like do it in advance? Like, are you finding it sustainable? Like, could you do this every day for like the next 20 years? Or are you like, I'm doing this now, but I don't feel like I can sustain this and maybe we need to tweak how we're doing it? How are you feeling about it?
I think the only reason I hold back from doing it too regularly is because I'm a little like, especially because I'm using varied treats instead of just kibble. I
Hmm.
feel like he is not getting enough exercise to balance out how many treats are involved with it.
Okay.
Like, um, I'm like, okay, if he's like mostly sedentary, except for like say this Kong full of treats, or um, or this snuffle mat that I've put like varied treats in, and I try to like still get like tasty treats that are not like super,
Like low calorie.
yeah, or like a little lighter,
Yeah,
and he still loves them a ton. But I'm like because he's so food motivated, I'm like, okay. I'm gonna need him to run a little bit or like do something because
sure.
I'm a little nervous I'm making him quite rotund. So
Well, I mean, we can do a couple of things. Certainly, we
yeah.
can try to use treats that are lower calorie but still high in value. Fruits and
Hmm.
vegetables can often be an easy one for that. Stuff
Yeah.
like
And those
apples, green
freeze-dried
beans.
the Stella and
Yeah,
Chili's one is great because it's just like a freeze-dried liver treat that's like
like a protein. Yeah,
yeah, he loves it and it's like very light. So it's like, okay, that's a good choice
yeah,
versus like giving him a salmon jerky every single time. That's just
exactly. So, I mean, in moderation, and if you do see
yeah.
that he's gaining weight, then you could like the snuffle mat doesn't have to be just treats. Like maybe there's kibble and a few high value treats in there, right? That way
Yeah.
there's like a mix of things. And if we absolutely need to, we can reduce some of his like whatever meal he was supposed to get for breakfast. Let's just keep a
Yeah.
portion
Oh,
of
that's a
that
good idea
for
too. Yeah.
treats. That way he's still eating the same amount throughout the day. We're not starving him. We
Yeah.
don't want to, but we're just kind of getting it in at other points throughout the day. So
Yeah.
see how it
No, that's a
goes.
really good idea because
That
there are
way it
times
lessens the pressure.
there's definitely like on some of the days if I'm giving him like the snuffle mat or the Kong where like the dinner comes around and I'm like
Yeah.
okay, I feel like I'm just here is your dinner. So
Yeah.
I think if it comes to that, I think that's a good idea too. It's like it's not like giving him less food. It's just like redistributing it
Yeah.
at other parts of the
Basically.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to think about.
Yay. Well, I love
Yeah,
that that's a big thing in terms of seeing his progress. I like that.
yeah. I'm glad about that. He I'm trying to think what else. I oh, we did some training with the muzzle. He was doing a great job. Or is doing a great job. It's not like it changed. But and I taught my partner on like how to do it too. Um,
Nice.
he he was definitely like confused why we weren't putting this on, and I'm like, because he needs to like get inside himself. Like he needs to
Yeah.
like the thing. And he's like, okay. Um, and I think when I was showing it to him in one of the trainings that we were doing, he was like, I think Fair was like, does this, maybe this doesn't fit him? And I
Mm.
think he thought that because when Herman was excitedly coming in, he's putting he's putting it like where his eyes are like right here.
Ah,
Uh so which there's room under here when he does that. So he doesn't have to. And I'm like, I'll try and like put it up. But I think he just gets like really excited and he's like, the whole thing is like up here. And he's like, does this even fit him? He's gonna hate this. And I'm like,
yeah.
he's just, I don't know, like just
I
trying to get
mean,
him
one
to like
step at a
look back
time.
down.
Yeah, I mean, the more that you progress in the sequence, the more that you'll be able to get to the point where you can put the straps on. And I think
Yeah.
that is one the point where you can be like, okay, how is this looking on your face? Do I need to tighten this one or this strap?
Yeah.
And then we can get a better feel for, is this the right size or do we need to do some adjustments to get it to
And he'll
fit?
let me, right? Instead of like him like trying to like wriggle out while I'm trying to figure out how it fits on him. Like at
Yeah,
least that
and
way he can.
you can always just get an idea of what needs to be tweaked, take it off, tighten the strap,
Yeah,
next rep, put it back on, see how that goes. How far have
exactly.
you progressed in there? Like how is it going with the sequence?
He's done really, really well. I would say that the one that I think can be a little difficult, and it's not because of him. I think it's just I'm trying to find a good rhythm, is the continuation of it.
Yeah.
Um, because I think he just like, or I just like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like trying to keep up. And he's just lapping things up. I am noticing that it's easier if I use the Kong peanut butter instead of the kibble
Yes.
because I think like if I put the kibble here, it's although I guess I should like be putting it in, right? Like should I be using my hand to put it in? Like
You don't
instead of
necessarily
sitting
have
it
to.
here?
I mean,
Because he's not getting this.
yeah, and that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I find the squeezable treat just to be easier. By the time you're
Yeah,
asking for building duration in the muzzle, you're gonna
yeah.
want something like you can Pez dispense all day long, but it's just gonna be easier to hold, squeeze, and like a consistent
Yes.
squeeze comes out. So I'd say just stick with that if he likes that.
Okay, because I was like, I feel like he's, and then I think he starts to struggle with like trying to
Getting
grab a
it.
hold of it instead of using his like his tongue is not like lapping up the kibble as easily as it is the Kong. So I'm like, okay, I think I might just stick with the smearable because that ends up
Yeah,
working better
I
for
think that's
him.
fine. Yeah,
Um,
that's totally fine.
but he's acing it. Like he's doing great.
Nice.
Like there's like no his elongation was doing great. Like I was trying to do I wasn't even I think trying to show that to Fair. I was like trying to just preview like so this is what would come after. He stayed like 10 seconds in it. I'm like,
Nice.
okay, like star student, what are we doing? He's like
Was that like with the straps on and everything?
no,
That was
that was
just
with
like
me
him.
holding it.
Okay, that's still
And that was
great.
still with like some peanut butter around my hand when I was holding it. But he was like, "Oh, I'm fine just staying here and licking every single centimeter of this." And I was like,
Beautiful.
"Okay, like that's good. That's good."
Yeah,
Um,
that's still tremendous.
I think he's starting to, and this was a big thing too, is when I think we've done it to a point where when I just show it to him, his tail starts wagging. Like he's like,
Nice.
yes, I think he knows that like whatever he has to do, he's getting food for it. So he's like, okay, this means I'm getting I'm getting like not just any food, I'm getting like the peanut butter. So
Yeah,
this is like good stuff. And he was like very he was like looking forward to like showing Ferret when I was like trying to show what the training looks like. He's like,
so
look, I'm
cute.
about to get so many treats. And I'm like,
So
yes.
cute. So you're probably to the point where you can start fumbling with the straps a little bit. And I
Okay.
say fumble. lovingly because that is what it's going to be. Like we don't have
Yeah.
three hands, so it's going to be hard. What I
Yeah.
often find myself doing is holding and I'll squeeze a little bit so he gets some in his mouth, and then I'll kind of squeeze some like into the like on the muzzle while I
Yeah. Like maybe
remove
here
a
or
hand.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that buys me time for me to put that down, mess with the strap, and then
Yeah.
repeat. You know what I mean? So
Got
that's why I say fumble because it is a little bit fumbly when you don't have enough
it.
hands for it.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, that's good because I was like, I think he's like super ready to like try the next step and like I didn't know if the next step was putting it on, but like I was like, I think he's totally ready to like add
Yeah,
some steps
just
to his
like
training for it.
just move the straps over. You don't have to buckle them
And
necessarily
this
yet, but just
part goes
start going
on
through that.
top, correct? The like little loop.
Yes. Let's see.
Okay.
What does the bottom look like?
The bottom looks like this. The like
Yeah.
mouth, right? Yeah.
Put it the other way, upside down.
Oh, upside down.
Sit that way. Extend the straps over. Trying to get a feel for the size. I think that's the way. That's what you want.
Oh, this is it?
That's what you want.
Oh, I have been teaching it to
Yeah.
him
Where's my
this
muzzle? I'm
way.
trying to get this side. Okay. The strappy things.
Oh, this makes sense though. Actually, you know what? You
Yeah.
are correct
The
because
bottom one, because this is going to be over, this strap is going to be over like kind of between his eyeballs and like go
okay.
back. This I'll know because this little guy down here with nothing going on, that's at the bottom. So
Okay,
eventually the bottom of the muzzle is longer. So that might be why you
that
saw
makes
the bottom
sense.
part hitting his eyeballs because it was probably
Yeah,
upside down. I mean, now we know. And he was still putting his
I
face in
gotta
it,
put my head
so
down back to my partner, like, you were correct. Wasn't right.
I mean,
No,
that
this
doesn't
makes
take away
sense.
from the motions of it, so
And
that's
it
still
might
fine.
actually then be easier for him to like reach down if he was like trying some other like if this was feeling too strange for him.
Yeah.
Um and now I
So,
feel extra silly because the size is like right side up on
yeah,
your correct one, which I should have probably noticed. Um
fair. That's
okay.
fair. But like
This
I
makes
said, he still put his face in it. Maybe then instead of going directly to
yeah.
the straps, just get used to giving him continuous food or food with it the right side up and
Yeah, and see how he
then move
does.
to the straps. Yeah. I'm
That's a
gonna
good
guess it's
idea.
not gonna be a big deal for him, but yeah.
Because then he'll be like, wait, this feels kind of different than
It'll
what
feel
you
different.
expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I can do that. Yeah.
What about
S-
the flight training stuff that we went over last time?
Oh, yes. So, I will try to do it. I try to do it inside for the most part. He's very confused.
Okay.
But he'll go along. He
Okay.
does it really well here.
Good.
Uh, there were a few times where I would try it outside. Um, and it would take a little coaxing because he gets just so distracted, not necessarily even by people, but like sometimes he's just very adamant on smelling this one particular leaf, like, or something like that. He's just like, I will like say when I want to go somewhere. And I'm like, no, that's not how this is going to work. Like, we can be patient, but like, we have to be, I'm like, if there's no other stimulus um, or like the most is like somebody is across the street, which is usually not an issue for him. Um, then I'll try it. And
Okay.
it takes me doing the little like dance
Mm-hmm.
in order for him to do it outside. Here, I don't have to do any sort of dance. I can just be like, let's go. And he like goes. Um, but when I would try it outside, it he would eventually come with, but it just takes longer for him to agree to it. Um, And but I will say it was actually this morning that there was like a real life scenario, and he ended up doing really well. I was not planning to, like, it was not in my head to give it a try. But as we were like walking back from a very peaceful walk, there's a guy jogging toward us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he was still like, I want to say like 60 feet away, but I saw that Herman noticed him, like his ears are up, and he like stopped in place. Like he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going toward him, but you could tell he was like bracing. And I was like, and we were already like basically at an intersection. So I was just like, away, and I like did a hard right into the crossing the other street, and he was like so happy to go with me. He was like, "Yeah, let's go!" And I was like, yes. He like jogged with
Yay!
me to the other side, and like I gave him, and then I told him, "Look at me." He's very good at look at me. If he's not already like super distracted. But so I was like, "Look at me," and he looked, and I gave him like two kibbles. I was like so proud of him. And like the
Oh
guy
my
was able
goodness.
to jog. He didn't have to like worry about dying. And
Yeah.
Herman was also like, because like even if he's activated by like one person, like the rest of the walk, he's activated by things that like don't normally activate him. So like I feel like being able to do that meant like the rest of the walk was peaceful. Like he was able to just continue to have a peaceful walk. And it
Nice.
wasn't like, like other people could pass by on like just walking and he was fine. Like he was like, okay, everything's okay. He was able to go on like busy Kedzie. Everything was okay. And I was like, yes, I cannot imagine. Because if he had to like deal with if we had to like come to the side and still deal with that jogger, like the rest of the walk would have been ruined. I was like, and I was not expecting him to come willingly with me, but I was like, oh wait, I'm like right to the
Yeah.
other side.
I love that. I love that so
Oh,
much. So much.
that
So
was
it
so
sounds like
satisfying.
in high stakes situations, he's like, I want to get out of here. So
Yeah.
maybe that's
He
what
was
his
like,
brain is
"Oh, I see
thinking.
threat coming." And a lot of times once he's like spotted something, it can be very difficult to like get him to like make a move, but this was good. I maybe we caught it earlier on, so like he spotted them, but they were still like kind of far away. But
Yeah. Still,
uh,
love that. Love that.
I
I
was
think
so happy.
continue practicing it inside a few times a week just
Yeah,
for the sake of building that muscle memory.
yeah,
Because eventually, one day outside, that trigger will be closer and it will come all of a sudden. And we want to be able to,
yeah,
like, it's so muscle memory, we're not thinking about it. We're just going to say
yeah,
the word and then go. Right.
yeah,
So, and of course, if it comes to something you see outside and you like need to use it, like you weren't planning it, try it.
yeah,
Just like see what happens, but
yeah.
continue doing it inside to create the muscle memory for when you're
Yeah.
using it outside. Nice.
I think that's a good idea.
Yay! I
Yeah, that was
love
great.
that.
I did not I did not trust him to make the correct choice, and he did. So that was really good. I was very proud of him for that. And I think it helped he looked like he thought it was a game, I think is what
Yeah,
it is. Like he was like,
yeah,
"Oh, where are we going?" And I'm like,
yes.
"Okay, just come with
That's
me."
tremendous. Tremendous,
So
tremendous.
yeah, I was very
Yay!
happy with
That's
that.
all good news. You have lots of good news today. I'm liking this.
Yeah, I was like, I actually like was coming on and I was like, I don't know if I was like, I don't know if he's made like enough headway for me to like feel like I accomplished much this time. But as I'm like speaking it,
Oh
I'm
my
like, he's
God.
done so much.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you've done so much. I mean,
Yeah.
the separation stuff, sure, but in all the other areas, and the
Yeah.
fact that you can lower his baseline arousal in other areas is going to help for the
Yeah,
relaxation training. So all of
totally.
this is gonna pay off. All of it
Yeah.
is gonna pay off. How are things going with the relaxation training? I know it's getting around too, so you let me know when and if you've got to go, but I figured I would ask about that.
Oh yeah. So it's basically, I would say at first I was worried it was going backward, because he was starting to soil in the office again, which he had stopped doing for a while.
Okay.
Um, And I was like, what is going on? But I think part of it too was that I think maybe I was waiting too long to set him up. Like we had talked before about like creating enough time before the event so that things are set up and it's not causing him extra anxiety. And for a while, I was very proactive in doing that and seeing a real difference. And then for a few weeks, I was like, okay, like I gotta go last minute to like Walgreens or something, um, or I'd be like, oh my God, look at the time. We have to like give him his trazodone with enough time. We need to set up the pee pads. We need to set up the boxes, all that stuff. Without giving him, and I think that was really like he's starting to freak out again because he's like, oh my gosh, this is all happening at once.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember there was one time, I'll like this will take 2 minutes, don't worry. I like there was a time I had to leave and I was like about to leave and I see him just like keep eye contact with me at the doorway of the office and just pee. And I was like,
Buddy. Yeah.
so that was a whole thing. And then I came back and like he had pooped, which is not abnormal, but he had smeared it everywhere. Like it was like between the cracks of the floor and like I was like, oh my God, I'm the worst tenant ever. So I was like, this guy, and you could tell he was very agitated. And I was like, I gave him his medication, but I don't think I gave it like, I should have given it earlier. And I'm like, my whole setting up stuff for him freaked him out from the beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
It's becoming a cue, it sounds like, for what's about
yes,
to happen. Okay.
yes. But today I had an appointment, so I had to leave, and I gave him his trazodone like they say to give it an hour early. I gave it an hour and a half early this time. I
Good.
like gave him a good long walk beforehand um since it was like not too hot at that time. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, which is the walk where we like went away. I like gave it a longer walk. I let him t gave him time to sniff and like do whatever he wanted to do. Um, I set up the pee pads like a half hour before I was actually gonna
Good.
leave. So that
Good.
way I like set everything up and then I sat back down on the couch for a bit so that he
Nice.
wasn't like, oh my God, what's happening? Which is
Right.
like, otherwise he is shaking. And this time,
Right.
no shaking. And I gave him the Kong full of treats and he was licking the peanut butter, and that was enough time for me to like slip out. And so when I came back, and I put the boxes down. So when I came back, he did soil, but he soiled on the pee pads. He pooped on the floor, but kept it like nice and away. Like he didn't smear it anywhere, which I was like, okay, that is a step forward. Um, and he destroyed the boxes instead of destroying other things.
Okay.
Um, and he was very, very clearly the trazodone had hit because there was no barking or crying when I came back. He was just walking around like, I'm here.
Okay.
So and now he's just been napping. So I'm like, okay, we're getting back to we're getting back to it. Like I think I'm
Good.
realizing like, okay, he's not regressing. I'm just starting to get complacent. And that's not fair to him either. Like I can't be like, okay, I'm like, I need to like put things together last minute, whatever. He should behave. And that's not how this works.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I
because
think
then he'll start to pair those with you leaving,
exactly.
which I mean, we'll work that into the relaxation protocol, the one that we're doing with the training. But the
Yeah.
more that we can prevent from making new
Yes.
associations is good. That's why doing them in advance of all of that, trying to meet
Yeah.
his needs, not calling attention to around the time that you're leaving. Fine
Yeah.
giving him the Kong. I love that because I mean he gets those kinds of things at other points in the day, so it doesn't
Yes.
always predict you
Exactly.
leaving. So that's totally fine. I'm wondering if you if it's feasible, depending on the day and your schedule, to give the trazodone 2 hours before you leave to make
That
sure
might be
it's
a good
fully
idea
kicked
too.
in?
Yeah.
Because it
Because
usually
when I
it's
did
going
it
to
an
take at
hour
least an
before,
hour.
when I gave it an hour before, I was like, this looks like it's kicking in when I come back home. And
Yeah,
that's not what I want either.
yeah,
So I was like, maybe I should like put the window of when I actually give it to him beforehand, like way before. And and I think the walk time that I did was good too because I gave the walk about an hour before. So that way there was still a
good.
bit of time in between where like it's not just walk and then me leaving.
Yes.
Uh, so yes, even though there was soiling today, I expected it and it was way better than the time before that. So
Yeah,
I will chalk it up as progress and I think a good reminder for myself of like, no, see, being proactive is what will help set him up for success,
yeah,
not just putting things up last minute because the same tools will not have the same effect if you're like just trying to shove it all at the last minute. So I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I got
yeah.
this.
And the more attention that we pay to it now will pay off in the long run when we
Yes.
start doing the motions of we're going to do this practice session of me doing the things and leaving and coming
Yes.
back, right? So, because I imagine we're going to get there pretty soon. Do you remember how far along in the relaxation protocol you've gotten? Because there's a bunch of phases in there.
I do
Where have
not
you left
remember.
off? Okay, fair enough. We can, I'll leave that as your assignment for for the next couple of weeks. Or, I mean, or
Okay.
even just let me know, like, once you go back to it, or if you practice in the next couple of days, just shoot me an email, be
Yeah.
like, hey, by the way, we're in phase 4, or we're in phase 10, wherever it is,
Yeah.
because we might be getting to the point, depending on where you're at, of if you're still using food for the relaxation for I do the thing, I give you food, and I wait.
Yeah.
I do the thing, I give you food. We might be able to drop the food at this point.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a thing. And if we're far enough along and he's still doing well meaning you're in a pretty long phase, like, phase 8 or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're still seeing relaxed body language. Like he doesn't
Mm.
need to be asleep. He just needs to be,
Chill.
chill, whatever,
Yeah.
right? In whatever space that he's in while you're doing the stuff.
Yes.
Then we can start throwing in picking up keys, whatever. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get to a point in that protocol where we're gonna be like, cool, let's not follow what it says. We're gonna throw in some new stuff in there to start
Yeah.
incorporate some of these departure cues, like going to the closet, getting the shoes, getting the
Yeah. Picking
purse,
up my
that sort of stuff.
purse, like theme
Yes.
stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
So let me know where you're at in the sequence so that'll help determine what we do next so we can
Yeah.
try to get some forward momentum with that,
Yeah.
especially if you think the trazodone is helping, like you see that it helps,
Yeah.
and maybe the timing is just what we need to refine. Awesome. Then let's start to put all of the pieces together and start adding the departure cues,
Yes.
utilize that trazodone, and let's see what kind of progress we can make with that.
Definitely. And I think it was just like a couple days ago. I think Dr. Coons had reached out and said she had talked with his cardiologist, and the
Yeah.
cardiologist gave like the okay
Okay.
for trying the new medication. So, I just spoken with Fair about it last night because Dr. Coons had asked if she thinks it's better to give it as like a daily on top of his Prozac, or if it's better to give it with the trazodone as like the PRN for if we're leaving or something like that for like the as needed events.
Yeah.
Um, so I was thinking as needed might be good because if it's like just us usually during the day, I think the age plus heart stuff has contributed to his mellowing out. Um, just like normally.
Okay.
But since separation anxiety is still like a very, very big deal for him, it's like maybe we can at least start with the as needed. And
Yeah.
if it's feeling like he needs that a little more regularly, we can always spread things out. But
Yeah.
I think on just like the daily. which is when I'm usually home. I think he can with enough like with his Prozac and then enough like training for in the house, I think he'll be okay, at least for
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love
So,
that approach. We can always, like you said, tweak it and you can go
yeah.
back and especially if she gave you the option of then doing it daily. The benefit of doing it daily is that it doesn't have to work so hard in the moment because it's kind of already
Yeah.
in the system, right?
True.
But as long as we get the timing better, anything that you give orally is going to take at least an hour to kick in because it's got to go through the
Yes.
digestive tract and all the things. That's why if we can go closer to two, we'll make sure we're past that. Like it is in the
Yeah.
system. It's not just kicking in, like it's in there. It's doing the
Yeah.
things. So,
He's up in the clouds by the time it's
yeah,
like I'm like saying bye
exactly. That's what we're
to
looking for.
him.
That's exactly what we're
Exactly.
looking for. And we'll utilize that too. If you're on the fence about it, you can always use that during a practice session of doing relaxation protocol, even if you don't plan to leave
Yeah,
on that
seeing
particular
how
day, just to see how he responds while you're doing the relaxation training.
that's a
Um,
really good idea, actually.
even if you're
Yeah.
not planning to leave. Actually, I'd probably
Yeah.
do it without planning to leave, like just to see, are you still responsive to like the motions of like me
Yeah.
doing things? Just I don't know, just to see how he handles it.
Things that
What do you
would
remember the
normally
name of
alert.
it? Do you remember the name of the medication? It's not a big
I
deal if you don't. I was just
no,
wondering.
I think let me just check real quick. I think she called it. She said pregabalin.
Yeah, okay.
So,
That's a good choice.
she said it's like similar to gabapentin, but it's not gabapentin.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah, there's just
yes.
some dogs that do better on one than the other, and pregabalin can
Yeah.
sometimes be a little bit less sedating than
Yeah.
gabapentin too.
The
So
gabapentin just like gave his hind legs out. So I was like, can we not do it?
yeah, yeah, and it's got some pain relieving properties as well, just like
Yeah,
gabapentin does. So
totally.
we'll see what we
Good
see.
for an old dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you picked it up yet? Like, do you have
Not
it or
yet.
not even yet? Okay, so this is
Yeah.
pretty recent development that you heard back from her.
Yes. I was gonna tell her
Okay,
today, because I think the dose, depending on how we'd use it, she'd like dose it accordingly.
okay,
I think the doses would be different otherwise.
okay.
So yeah. So then I will get that. Or she'll send it over and then I'll pick it up. And also like a really I think something that'll also be really good is that like starting midweek this week, I'm like on leave from work for like a month. And so that means I have so much free time with him now, which is
Okay.
gonna be really nice. So I was like, okay, this way I won't also feel very like need to like squeeze little bits of training or like I can pay better attention to him too.
Yeah.
Um, because I'll be home and not I can practice like, being busy at the desk doing something and like see how that works with him, but it doesn't have to
Hmm.
be like I'm forced to be here. I can like watch how he reacts and have more flexibility with tweaking it accordingly. So I think that'll
Yeah.
be nice.
That'll be really nice. Like just
Yeah,
so much less stressful to have to work in all the things during the day. I mean, the whole
totally.
idea is that I try to give you a plan that you don't feel like it's taking up your life, right? That's not the point. I want it to
Yeah,
be able to be
totally.
sustainable and but still, anytime you get a month off work and you're like, I could just
I
do
know.
things
I was like,
whenever, that's gonna be so
free
nice.
time. I know he's gonna love it. Like, it's gonna be great.
Well,
Longer
that's perfect
walks.
timing, like to try out the medication with advancing in
Yes.
the relaxation protocol. I think then one other thing I'll leave you with is trying to identify what you think right now are his departure cues. Meaning, if I
Yes.
do this, he's going to trigger. Like that,
Yeah.
he's gonna like you, whatever you did that one time where you just looked at him and he peed on the mat. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so what happened before that? Because there's going to be a
Yes.
certain point in time where, like, sure, obviously you go to the door, he knows that.
Yes.
Let's take it a step back and a step back and a step back. Like, what is the
Yes.
furthest point back where he determines that's right there, I'm starting to get nervous.
Yeah. And
right?
even before the peeing, right, he shows that he's shaking, and I'm like, okay, he's shaking. What caused the shaking? Like,
Right.
which I think is why like putting your recommendation of putting the pee pads out like way before is so helpful because otherwise when I was putting it right before leaving, definitely caused shaking. Like the pee
Yeah.
pad, me going into the cabinet and pulling out the pee pads was like cause for worry. And so like he would get a little nervous. Like today he got a little nervous watching me set them up, but then when he saw me go back to the couch, no shaking. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
good
Beautiful.
sign.
So we're
So
trying to reverse engineer that it doesn't
yeah.
always mean I'm leaving right now. And I mean, if you wanted to, you can just put them out at random times a day to be like, this
Yeah,
just
it's just
happens
a
at
neutral
regular
thing.
times a day. Yeah,
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we'll definitely do that.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we figure out some of those departure cues and then figure out where you're at in the relaxation protocol, let me know, and then we can talk about how to work some of those things in there. So I think that'll help us with advancing in the separation realm.
Yes.
How are you feeling about just the strangers and dealing with that? So muzzle training, we're still working on. We can continue to
Yes.
build on that. Flight cue, continue to practice that.
Yes.
Are you feeling like between those two things and then the relaxation with seeing where we're at, identifying the departure cues, and then testing out the new medication. Like, is that enough things, or are you like,
Totally
give
enough.
me, okay, great. Let's just continue with those
I
then
was
for
like,
now.
Veronica, don't give me something else.
No, let's just do that. And especially because you've already figured out the giving him those long-term calming projects in advance.
Yes.
So I know that that's eating up some of your bandwidth to get those things together. I'd rather
Yeah.
have you build a nice system in a way that works for you. That's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is organic feeling, like sustainable every day. And
Yeah. It's
everybody's
building my
different.
muscle memory as much as his, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a batch prepper, so usually on the weekend I'll be like, here's all the lick mats, here's all the cons, stuff, spread,
That's such a
and then
great idea.
yeah, and then I chuck them all in the freezer,
You're
and it's
meal
just
prepping
like,
his, yeah,
yeah.
that's a great
Well, I do
idea.
that for myself, so as soon as I'm done with mine, then I do theirs. It's just one less thing. The what I
It's
don't
one
do
less
in
thing.
advance, the snuffle mats I don't do in advance, because that's easy
Yeah.
enough to be like, put the mat
Yeah,
down,
you just
sprinkle
kind
the
of,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. But the stuffing of the things and then freezing it, like that's gonna take a minute. And I'm not doing that every morning. I just know
And
me. I'm
also you
not.
forget sometimes like sometimes I'm in a rush so then I forget that I need to freeze it. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, here is some like mushy
Fresh. Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
it. Don't make a mess.
And then you get through it in like 2 minutes and you're like, okay,
Exactly.
well, there goes that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Exactly.
so figure out a system that works for you. And I like that you're already seeing the benefits of how that's impacting his behavior.
Totally.
That's huge. That's super huge
Big
for
deal.
him. So I'm so happy about that. And I'm so happy that all of the things that you're doing for the pre-departure things, like the changing the
Yes.
time. I love that those things are working because these are
Yeah.
easy things. Well, easy. They're things you were already doing. We're just shifting when you're doing them,
Yes.
right?
It's
So
just like
excellent.
doing the exact same things and doing it more ahead of time. And I
Yeah.
think it's really promising that like despite the setbacks from like the previous weeks, like he's still like I can come like we're both like I can come back from this. Like that's
Yeah.
okay. Like
Yeah.
we're still early enough that like I'm not permanently associating all this stuff with bad stuff. Like we can work this out still and
Yeah.
that makes me feel more motivated to keep doing it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see how it goes with the new medication. Once you
Hmm.
pick that up, I'll keep my fingers crossed that the whole new cocktail is going to
Yes.
be effective for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. I think since that's enough things, I think we can just call it there, especially since you've been hanging out for a little while.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and schedule session 8 that's coming up.
Okay. And this weekend I'll also book the additional three that you had linked in the
Okay.
last email.
What works best for you? Do you want to meet again in 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 2 weeks will bring us at the 26th of
Hmm.
June. Otherwise, we're talking July 3rd.
Let's do oh,
Let me see, let me time wise, I'll throw them out in case that helps any. On the 26th, I have mostly afternoons.
yeah.
On July 3rd, I also
Mhm.
have, so they're both afternoons. So I don't have anything in the mornings those days.
Um, I think I can do either. If July 3rd is around, that would be really helpful. But I also know it's a holiday weekend, so if it's like if it's difficult or like it's
I mean, I'm here. It's a regular day for me. So whatever. I'll be working. I don't
Okay,
have a month off. That sounds horrendous, but I don't have that.
okay, great. Let's do that then. That would be awesome.
Okay. Let's see. Do you want to meet at noon? Do you want to meet later?
Let's do noon. I think that works.
Okay, so let's go with July 3rd at noon. And if that changes or you change your mind, we can either change the date or the time, whatever you
Yeah, that's
prefer.
perfect.
Okay, so July 3rd at 12. Getting on. Okay, so you'll get a confirmation. I will make sure to write 12 p.m. and not 12:30
Let
p.m.
me also
It looks
write
like,
12 p.m.
yeah, on the worksheet I wrote 1:30, but in the email I wrote 1 p.m. So
I,
dang it.
it
Dang
happens.
it.
I'm the one who completely forgot an entire date of our session. So
You know,
I
we're
totally
human.
understand.
Yeah, we do the human things. It happens.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
but you'll get a confirmation for that and keep me
Oh, and one more
posted.
thing. Do
Yeah.
you think um do you think he's in a good place where we can start I think start like talking with potential sitters?
Mm, good question. We know of, how about this? Let's see.
Yeah.
Trying to think of something easy. So if a new sitter came in, what I'm suspecting will happen now is that they'll come in and if he's uneasy, he'll do a lot of like barking and
Yeah.
whatnot. If the new person leaves him alone, I mean, not a big deal,
Yeah.
right? But I'm assuming we eventually want new person like to be able to walk him,
Right.
right? To be able to touch him, get his gear on, and that sort
And
of
the
thing.
first step
So,
would be outside anyway, I'm assuming.
okay, let me think about this for a second of how do I want to proceed without giving you too many things to do. Um, I think the person. I think it wouldn't hurt. Here's my short answer. I don't think it's
Huh.
gonna hurt to start interviewing people just to be like, this is what we have going on, so that they
Yeah,
are
this is what to
aware of,
expect.
yes, that we're in the process of training, right?
Hmm.
And we're, especially if they are on board, they're familiar with dogs that have had some sort of fear of new people, they go
Yeah.
slowly. You can educate them on body language and what that means for Herman, because
Okay.
every dog is different and not every dog walker or pet sitter knows body language. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people just don't naturally know that. So you might need to do that education for them so that they feel safe
Yeah.
and be like, okay, so if we see this, that means this. And even just for the safety aspect of
Yeah.
it, so that I don't have them being like, sniff my hand, and he goes to
Yeah.
bite their hand, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's not do that. So setting them up for success, just explaining that. But if someone is willing to sign on, actually that'd be good because then we can practice like counter conditioning to them. Like all of the
Yeah.
things that I would do for like the stranger danger type things. Well, cool. Now we have a person on which to focus on.
Yeah.
So it might start as you hire someone and maybe we start with coming over for walks and you all walk as a group,
Yeah.
right? Like it might look
Right.
something like that and they just slowly get accustomed to them and then we can do some of the exercises with that person. Does that make sense? So I'm
Yeah,
not
that's a good
expecting a
idea
whole
because then
lot.
they can be
Yeah.
like a little, like a healthy little distance away, but we walk together and I can like just like reward him if he's like, you know, even if he's like suspicious, but he's not acting on it, like it's okay. Like
Yeah.
this person is not a
Yes.
danger, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can eventually
Okay.
be like, okay, let's give you some treats or food reinforcement for you looked at the person, but you didn't have a reaction, right? You
Yeah.
just checked in with mom about it. Or I'm tossing a treat close to the person, so you go get it, but then
Yeah.
I'm going to toss a treat back there so you can retreat right away. And we're going to
Okay.
slowly build up, like getting closer to that person, right? So there's
I think
lots of
that's
different
good.
ways that we can play with that.
Okay.
I don't think any of that's going to be right away. That's why I'm
No,
like,
totally
but
fine. I
still.
mean, even we haven't even like set up anything or like we don't have like a top three of who we want to like look at yet. Because I just wanted
Okay.
to make sure. I was like, let me run this by Veronica before I like try and make more drastic steps and traumatize a potential sitter. So
Yeah, just know that going in. I think maybe step one is starting to narrow down your list,
yeah.
probably. Like if it were me, that's what I would do. Just I'd be
Okay.
like, knowing my dog, here, let me start narrowing down the list. And then going through the motions of getting them over. They're probably not going to interact. They're going to be like way over here. Herman's going to be over there. And a lot of it's going to be just we do things with
Yeah.
Herman and then we progress from there.
Yeah. I think that's a good
And that
idea.
and if you do bring somebody over, definitely have Herman on leash just in
Yes.
case at first, and eventually, fingers crossed, then he could just be like free roaming. But we'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there with all the pieces. Does that
We'll
help? Does
get
that make
there.
sense?
I think
Okay.
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Definitely.
Great. Well, good luck with the search. That can be
Thank you.
stressful. I know. I've been there myself. So,
I'm glad we took a break from the last time we tried to search because the last time I was like, oh my gosh, we're never going to do
yeah,
anything ever again.
it's hard. I'll see if I have any from my like list of recommendations. I don't
So,
often get them, but like the fear-free directory, sometimes you can find people in the
yeah.
area. Try something like that. And I'll see if anyone like from word of mouth, if I've heard of anything
Okay.
up by where you live. And if I know of anything, I'll let you know.
That's amazing. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Anything else?
I think that's it. I think
Okay.
we're good. Okay.
Excellent. Well, I'll get your training worksheet to you. If you do think of anything later, let me know. You guys are doing great. All of this
Thank
progress, all of
you.
this
That
was
feels
good news.
good.
So I'm glad you stuck around so I can hear all of that.
Yes.
It made my day.
It's
Made my
good
day.
stuff.
Yay. All right.
Okay.
Well, keep up the good work. We'll talk to you next
Thanks.
time. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.